Okay. What is Geographical Information System? What is GIS? And what are its various applications that can be used in India? Okay. So, you know what is GIS? I've already told you. GIS is nothing but a management system for geographical data. So how does it work? It works by first capturing the data, which you can manage, analyze, interpret, manipulate, and then present it in different forms. So it is nothing but geographical data which is presented in a graphical format in the form of maps, for example, which can be used for many different applications. So what are the advantages of your geographical information system, for example? It is scalable, correct? You can use it to that extent which is necessary without involving any other uh, what do you say, utilities of GIS system. It is flexible, it can be used for many different things, and since it is graphical, representation also becomes much easier. Okay, so what are different applications that you could think of? Correct. So in defense, can we use GIS? Of course, we can use GIS in defense. It can be used in surveillance. It can be used for mapping a particular terrain. It can be used for planning. It can be used for tracking troop movement with respect to terrain, elevation, etc., etc. All these things can be done with respect to defense. Then what? Forest management. So forest conservation. It can be used in order to track the improvement in forest conservation in the acreage of forest or degradation of forest resources. For example, what is the quality of forest? Is it dense forest? What is the canopy of the forest? All these things can be studied. Correct. What else? For example, in your disaster management with respect to forest fires. So it can also be used in disaster management. Correct. It can also be used in disaster management. Once again, for mapping, hazard mapping, for mitigation with respect to, for example, we've in recent news, what was this? Glacier outburst was there. So we can map the entire region to identify all those glaciers where there are possibilities of disasters. So it can be used in disaster management. What else? Transportation. So we can use it in transportation, correct, to identify best routes for in your transportation. Then infrastructure development with respect to urban planning, correct, infrastructure development, urban planning, industrialization, zoning of a particular region. So all of this can be used in urban planning. What else? Okay, rural and urban planning. Land survey, so mapping and land surveying, resource management, land survey and resource management, and resource management. Commercial establishments. Okay. It is actually also used in education also. So, for example, it is used by the government to identify where to open schools. So, schools will have to be opened on the basis of population to serve certain populations. So, opening of schools, opening of police stations, opening of hospitals will have to be based on the population of that particular region. Correct? You'll have to. There'll have to be a suitable ratio between schools to population or schools to children. So, in opening schools, hospitals, police stations, also the government can make use of geographical information system. Then what? Anything else? It can be used by your local police authorities. It can be used by electricity companies. It can be used by private organizations and corporations. What else is there? How pollution level? Air traffic management, I doubt. It is with respect to geography of particular geotagging. Geotagging. It can be used in geotagging. GIS can be used in geotagging and geofencing also. You understand geotagging, geofencing? No? Geofencing is what? Now you have these features in many of these cars, geofencing. So, if, for example, you lend me a car, okay, you tell me that, fine, I will lend you my car, but don't go outside Bangalore. Anta. But what will I do? After class, I take all the guys to Mysore and come back. How will you come to know? Only one thing is that the distance would be too much. I will say that, no, I've traveled within Bangalore itself. We were driving the entire night. Anta. But with geofencing, what happens is that you can say that whenever the car moves outside of Bangalore, you will get an automatic response saying that now the car is outside Bangalore. So then you will be able to track the car. So geofencing can be done with respect to kids also. Okay, to ensure that whenever the kid moves out of school, okay, so then automatically an alert is given to you saying that your child is not in school anymore, he is somewhere else, or he or she is anywhere else. In US, for example, you have this problem of school shooting. So in USA, you can buy guns like buying a packet of lace. Okay, so now they are considering using this geofencing technology in weapons also, where in such a way that whenever if the weapon is taken to a school, automatically you cannot press the trigger or something, so that they are involving that technology. Okay, so it is to be used. They are saying that they may consider introducing that such a technology in guns, because in geofencing, what you can do is that you can immobilize the car from far away. So if you feel that the car is somewhere, somebody has stolen the car, then you can immobilize the car remotely. So you can remotely, so this immobilization of weapons can also be done through geofencing. So geotagging, geofencing, all these things can be possible using geographical information system. Yes, traffic management, transportation, urban planning, and analyzing crime patterns. Weather forecasting, how is weather forecasting with respect to geographical? That is again with respect to climate and atmospheric information gathering.